let's review what have you learned for GP. Yeah? So GP is a geometric progression. So previous AP arithmetic progression is D, different, but for GP, it will be R. Okay. So how to find the R is that you take the second term divided by the first term. Okay. So it's in this format. So the first one is A, second one is AR, the third term is AR2, the fourth term is AR3. So you should able to write a general equation for A, comma AR, comma AR2, comma AR3, dot, dot, dot. You should be able to write for n term. If you want to find the number of term inside the GP progression data, you need to write AR n minus 1. A is the first one. A is the first number. R is the ratio. In this case, it's ratio. N minus 1. Okay, n minus 1. Yeah. So it's good that you copy all this equation because later I will have open book quiz. There will be open book quiz for you guys. Yes. Means you cannot use phone, but you can do any notes that you have in the classroom. You cannot look at your friend answer, but you can look at the notes that you have at that particular period time. In this class lah. Later. After we complete this explanation. Okay. So for GP, AR n minus 1. No, I don't have GP now. But you copy any. Okay. But this one is locked. Okay. So first equation for today is AR n minus 1. Okay. So if you want to find the eighth term, the equation will be AR n minus 1. If the question asks you to find eighth term, n replace with 8, and then you do the calculation. So in your final or in your test, you should always give general equation first. Means you write n term. N term of the GP is this one. Okay, or n term of the GP equal AR n minus 1. Then the next step, you do substitution. You need to tell me what is your A, what is your R, what is your N. Okay. So if you do substitution, press your calculator, you'll get 128. In this 1248 GP series data. Okay. So what is important this equation? If you want to find n term of inside the GP, how you know it's GP? Where you can take the first one, second one minus the first one, the third one divided by the second one, you will get the same R. You can test the fourth one divided by the third one, you will then get the same common ratio. Then that is GP. Okay. And again, later this equation is important. Later this equation is important. So you should able to give what is that one. Okay, so far is the equation. So inside the progression chapter, there are only two things we ask you, which is you find the nth term and then find the sum, which is what number at a certain location, then the sum of the total number of that particular data. Okay, so same with the GP, but however, GP have two set of condition. Okay, so let GP be A, comma AR, AR2, power 2, comma AR3, dot, 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 and then the last one will be AR n minus 1. Okay, so to find the sum, actually, if you want to write the full, it will be like this lah, A plus AR plus 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 until the last one. Okay, so this kind of data or this kind of presentation, we summarize. We summarize. Okay, we summarize. So we try to develop the equation, but developing the equation is not important at the moment, but there's a way to develop. So what we do, you take this whole equation 1, multiply by R, you get the second equation. Okay, then you take second equation minus the first equation because we want to get this equation. Because we want to eliminate from AR term until the one before AR n minus 1. Okay, why we take equation 2, the new equation, minus 1, because we want to eliminate the middle term of the two equations. So at the end, we arrive at Sn minus R Sn equal to A minus ARn. Okay, you take 1 minus 2, 1 minus 2, 1 minus 2, then you factor. You factor the Sn, put a bracket 1 minus R, same with the A at the right hand side, A bracket 1 minus R power n. So once you have the same bracket factor, you can something. Okay, so then you move. You move. Okay. Then you rearrange the equation. You take the bracket in the front on the left hand side, pull to the right. You get Sn equal to A bracket 1 minus R power n divided by 1 minus R. So this is another second important equation. How you arrive at this one not important, but it's important you memorize this one. Okay, so first condition is how you make this equation unsolvable. Okay, so this one only valid when your R is smaller than 1, so that it become positive value. Yeah. Means that this ratio, the ratio is less than 1. For this equation, this set of equation. Yeah. So this is the first equation. Second equation, what happens if your R is more than 1? Means the sum, what happens if your R more than 1? It becomes negative value already. If you add value, data, you add together, you cannot get negative value 1. Right? If you add 1 plus 2 plus 3, you cannot, right? So you cannot get negative value. It's not logic if your R is less than 1. Understand? Understand? Okay. This equation only apply when your R less than 1, means the ratio less than 1. So when your R more than 1, what happened to this whole equation? It becomes negative number already. So when you sum, let's say I take this. So if your R is less than 1, when you add the number, it doesn't make sense that you will get negative number. If you want, you can prove lah. But what is important, this equation. Okay, another set, huh? So the same two equations. Just now we take 1 minus 2. Now we take 2 minus 1. Yeah. Now we take 2 minus 1. We rearrange the equation. Right, means we still eliminating the middle term of the AR squared, and so on. Okay, so we arrive at Sn bracket R minus 1 equal to A bracket AR minus 1. Why we cannot eliminate the bracket? Because your R is power n. It's not same factor. That's why you cannot eliminate. Yeah. So you arrive at a second new equation. So there are three equations for GP. Yeah. One is n term. Second one is the sum that when your R is less than 1. This one, your R must more than 1. So for GP, you must test your value of R. Every time you see, or first identify whether which kind of data, it is AP or GP. If it's GP, write the general form A, comma, AR, comma, AR square, comma, dot, 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 AR, n minus 1. Write that form first. Then you find the R. Okay, find the R. Okay, so there will be two equations. So we have arrived at three equations so far. So these are the two that is important, which is the location of the R power n also different within the two. So the first one is A bracket 1 minus R power n. The second one is A bracket R n is in front. So this will be the careless mistakes when you memorize the wrong one. So copy this up. Later you might need to use one of these in your quiz later. Yeah, copy this one. Yeah. Okay. So important is you understand the concept. Then how do I apply? Right. So we as an engineering student, engineering engineer, so we might ask, so what? Well, I learned this one, then so what? If I just learn for shock, then no meaningful. Okay. So let's say we have a GP series 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and the R is 2. So how you test the R is 2? Again, take the second one minus, not minus, divide by the first one, and you take the third one, divide by the second one, and so on. Okay? At least do 2 or 3, at least minimum 2 tests. 3 is more confirm lah. 3 more confirm. And GP is exponential graph. GP is exponential graph. So if you see the word exponential behavior, means it's under GP condition. You'll see this one in your test too later. Okay. When after we complete the chapter 7, which is integration. Okay, so here R more than 1. So you use the second one. Apply the second one. Okay, so this one you copy the second one. Substitute. A is 1, R is 2, N. It asks you what is the N here? If the question asks you to find the first 8. First 8 means N equal 8. Okay. So you substitute the value, you press the calculator, you always get positive value. For this chapter, for GP, you always get, if you ask the question asks you sum, you always get positive value. Okay. Right. So the rest you can refer to the slide later. Important you understand, or when I need to use what kind of equation. That is more important. Okay. So what happened if the question asks you to sum until it's infinity? To sum up an infinity GP. This one will be like when you use this kind of calculation if you want to do approximation when you launch a satellite into galaxy. You don't know like when it will stop, right? But there's a gravitational force and so on. So you use infinity to estimate what will it be and so on. Okay. So when the common ratio is less than the unity, so your okay. So infinity means your R is less than 1. You take the second one divided by the small number. Right? Infinity means very big number divided by small number, you get less than. Sorry, second divided by first one. Okay. So at the end, if you rearrange the equation, you can split the equation, right? So this one you can split a bracket 1 minus AR. You can split into two factor value, which is a divided by 1 minus R and minus ARN divided by 1 minus R. Still the same equation. It's just that when you see that if we ask you to make the sum of infinity and the common R is less than unity, so you use the first one, right? Right, again, how you know which one Sn to use? Test the R first. Test the R, then choose the correct one. So here, we arrive at this one. So since R less than 1, R is less than 1, R power n become less as n increase. So meaning if this n increase, R you power something very big become very, very small. So A multiplied by 0.0000, it will become very, very small number. Okay. So it will near to 1, so we can say this is n, R power n will near to 0 because it's 0.000 something. So we can say it's near to 0 as n is infinity. So this one, this one, you divide something with 0, I mean on the top is 0, you will get 0. So the last one, this term is gone. Yeah, so because this one increase, then 0.000 something, this one become very, very small number. So minus very, very small number, you can ignore, become 0. Yeah. So at the end, your equation will continue. Your Sn will be only A divided by 1 minus R. So this is your fourth equation that you derive from the Sn equation. And this one is when the case is R less than 1. I don't pick the wrong Sn equation. This is less than 1. Less than 1, and then it asks you to sum of infinity number. You only pick the front factor, which is A divided by 1 minus R. Okay. So again, we will contain this number mathematically. This R will be minus 1 until 1. If you want to look for infinity, yeah. Yeah. So there's an additional term for infinity, R less than 1. So your R value will be less than 1, but more than minus 1. Okay. Okay. So a term in the simulator, if you run simulation to predict something, a word will call convergence. Convergence means if you in the graph, you see it's stable, it becomes stable. It becomes straight line, right? So, okay. So the function of y equal 1 over x converge to 0 as x increase. So y equal to 1 over x. If your x getting bigger and bigger, so y will become smaller and smaller, right? So it will be near to 0 if x keep increasing. All right. So same, if you get a series, 1 divided by 1 over 2, 1 over 4, 1 over 8, this one you know is GP. Because if you take second one divided by first one, you get 1 over 2. Third one divided by the second one, also 1 over 2, and so on. So if you continue to add, the number behind this data will be very, very small. And it becomes irrelevant, actually. So here, so the rest is, so it will be 1.1, 1.5, 1 point, even very near to one number is called 2 lah, if the start with 1, and so on. Okay. So if you substitute this one inside there, you substitute 1 over 2 and 1 here, you will get Sn near to 2. Okay. You substitute this series GP, you will get S infinity will equal to, you will near to 2. It will converge at 2. If you plot graph, you add all the number, it will become straight line in the 2 value of 2. Okay. This slide is on the conversion lah. So this one is important when you use simulation in the future, when you come to year 2 or year 3 module. Okay. So especially when you did your FYP later, you need to verify your data. So we like to ask how you know your data is stable. Means you are looking for convergent data. Right. So just a quick one. So this one, find the 10 term of this GP series. So first test, take the second one divided by the first one, you get 2. Take the third term divided by 6, you get 2 also. So it's a GP. R equal 2. Okay, you need to show me how you get 2. R equal 6 divided by 3 equal 12 divided by 6 equal 2. You need to show me that how you get R. Don't suddenly give me R2. Then use the AR n minus 1. You substitute, the question asks you 10, so substitute n equal 10. Look for AA, in this case is 3, R is 2, substitute, press calculator, you get the value. Yeah, so the expansion of the value is important in your test or final exam. Okay. So this one, the answer is 1536. So what is important is this equation again. So when you need to use this equation is you see that it's GP data. It's a GP data. Okay. All right. Now this one is your homework. I don't show it. If you understand this one you should be able to do. Okay. So I'll upload this one in the island. Right. Okay. So same. Test your this one. So if this one is ask you to find the sum, so use the correct equation. This R equal to more than 1 because your R is 3 here. So use the R more than 1 equation. Some of you are very weak when you see fractional number. So just need to be careful when you do the substitution. Okay. So here you arrive at 546.5. Okay, this one also you can read this one as your revision time. Okay. Okay, so this one I need to highlight is when you have a school. This example when you have a root power 4. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this one he asks you to guess. He give you a GP series. He asks you to guess within this one which one is 1 over 9. So still same. You have the A, you have the R. Substitute back to the equation. The missing one unknown is the number n. Okay. Okay, I'll skip. This one your homework. So this one also same. I will skip. This one also your homework. Go and see. All right. So those your test one is less than 60 marks. Choose 2 from here. Show me tomorrow. Okay. This is question number 31. So those in less than 60, your test one, pick 2 from here and then show me tomorrow. Okay. Okay. So this one also same your homework. If you understand what is GP, then it is fine. Okay. So this one is a bit, it gives you a paragraph, and then what is important is extract the information, put into the equation, and then solve simultaneous equation sometime. So for this example, let's say you have it gives you GP, system is 8 times. It's not so direct. It tell you that this one is 8 times of the third terms, and the sum of 7 and 8 is 169. So basically, there are 2 equations. So solving, you need to solve a simultaneous equation. So the third term general equation is AR power 2. Sixth term is AR power 5. So because the general equation is AR n minus 1. Then it tell you sixth term is 8 times of 3. So what you do, you take this statement, change it into equation. So sixth term is AR power 5. 8 times means power factor 8. Bracket, the third is AR2. So from here, you can find the R already. So from here, you can find the R. The second one, okay, R is 2 lah. So I don't give you the steps lah, but you know how to continue. Okay, so the next statement is it tell you the sum. The sum of 7 and 8 terms is 169. So you find the 7th term is AR power 6. 8th term is AR power 7. So these two add together, you get 192. You already find your R already. So you can able to find your A. So this one actually is a snowball question where if you have error or wrong answer for the A, you will find wrong answer for B and C. Yeah. So this usually is a careless mistakes lah. Okay. All right. Any question? No. Only need to be careful on the sum lah. The sum equation, that one. This one also go home and read. This one is on the tooling things, but this one you read lah. So it tell you that this is to find the infinity sum. Okay, how you know you need to find infinity? In the question, you'll find something like assume lasts forever. It continue to float forever in galaxy, in space, and so on. Or continue to move. Okay. All right. So this one also go home. Okay, this one I need to. This one is very near to your quiz. Okay. So you will see percentage. Compound interest of 2%. Okay. Compound interest of 2%. So what is your R? What's your R? So 2% is what? 0.02. So it's what? What is your R? you compound interest is the number is getting bigger or smaller? Bigger, right? So your R is not 0.01. Your R is 1.2. But later quiz later you will see is decreasing 2%. Means you see the similar question, but you see the question will mention it. You have a loss of 2%. Continue 2%. So what is your R? Means every year you lose 2%, 2%. So what is the R compared to the first one? It's 0.98%, right? 0.98. If it's keep decreasing every year compared to the previous one, right? So this is why this question is 1.02, because you invest something with compound interest, the number become bigger and bigger. But if you need to read carefully, the question sometimes we use some word that very tricky. So for example, decaying. Decaying means become smaller and smaller. Decayed becomes smaller. So decayed by how many percent? You need to convert that one to percent. So if this one decayed 2%, R is 0.98. Understand? Yeah? You get this? If you put the number in this term, A, AR, so you compare the second one and the first one. What is the difference between the first one and second one? So the first one is the first number, second one is more than 2%, right? So it should be A multiply 1.02 compared to the previous one, right? So you write this GP general form, then you will see already. Okay. So this one, why the R is 1.02? Why? Because you compound interest. Compound interest means the number become bigger and bigger. Means you write A, AR, right? Then AR 2, right? So first number is A. Second number should be bigger than A, right? How many percent? 2%. So it must be multiply 1.02. Multiply A. Right? So this is 1A. This is 1A. This is 0.12A. Do you see? And so on. 1.02, 2%. Yes. It doesn't helpful if you put percentage, because you need to put into the equation. Yeah. This is a bit tricky word later. You will see in your quiz later. Anyone, you have question? Okay. Compound interest. You understand compound interest? Means what? The number become bigger. Right. So it's 2%. So the first number is, let's say, 1. The second number, how you get the second number? You take the first number, multiply what? Not 0.2. 0.2 is 2% only. But the number increased 2%. Okay, let's say I don't use 2%, I use 10%. Okay, 10%. If the first number is 100, second number is what? 110, right? How you get 110? You take 100 multiply 1.10, right? Understand? You see? Some of you still able to see. Okay, AR. I only talk about two numbers lah. So if the first number is 100 and the R, let's say, is 10%. So 10% is 0.1%. If the number is increasing 10%, 10%, 10%, how you get the second number? You take 100 multiply 1.10, right? Yeah. Bunny? This one? You know 10%, right? If every day you get 10% increase, your wallet, you open wallet, 100 ringgit today you have, tomorrow you have 10% increase. So tomorrow, how many money you have? How you get 110? You thumb 10%, you get 10 only. So they add 100. What mean by you add another 100 is 1, right? Of course, you can multiply 10 and then plus back the A, but it's lower in that case. Yeah. So this is a faster way where you multiply 1.1. In this case, you multiply 1.02. So later your quiz is decaying question. 2%. I forget 2 out of 5. So when the indicating is less than 1, so it's 0.98 or 0.95 and so on. Your R is in that form. Understand? Okay. Okay. Done. Any question before I move to your quiz? Okay, the rest you read. Go home and read. If you understand how you apply already, go and read. It's just a sample on how to do it, right? This is a slower way you do. Slower way. Okay. So again, this is another exercise. Pick two. Those that test one less than 61, pick two from exercise, which is question 36. Okay, with this we conclude chapter 5. Any question? Anything you want to